no matter how much you complain that there aren't opportunities in life, opportunities will happen. Question is, are you ready to take advantage of them? While we're going home, I kind of want to talk about consistency, because when it comes to success and anything that people invest some effort into, the best outcome usually comes from consistency, because a lot of people will devote a lot of time into the strategy. They maybe like develop like an amazing game plan, they do it for a little bit, then they switch up the game plan, they start this business and they're like, oh, well, it's not hitting the numbers and goals that I want, so let me switch businesses. And the most failures that I saw in life are from people that are inconsistent on what they're doing. And it could be like anything. It could even be the gym. And we overthink a lot of things because, first of all, there's too much information online. If you go online, if you type in how to build muscle, there's literally probably like 30 strategies or 30 different theories on why this path is the best or that path. So what happens is you go online, you're like, how to build muscles. And then it's like, this one says, eat more protein, do like 10,000 steps, do progressive overload. Okay, that's one. And then after a week, you do it and you're like, maybe not hitting the goals that you want. And then you're like, well, I found this other guy that said, don't do the 10,000 steps because it's just burning calories that you don't need to burn. You should just be eating more calories and not do cardio at all. And then you start doing that. And after like some time, you're like, after like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're like, I'm not seeing the muscles. And this guy's like, well, you got to take TRT. And now you start taking TRT. And the thing is, like, the funny part is every single one of those works. And even in business, like doing this strategy, if you're doing Google ads or Meta ads, or if you're doing SEO, or if you're doing organic content, all of them work. It's just like, if you're not gonna stick to it, don't even start. And the worst part is, like, I feel bad because people like devote a lot of time, like 2-3 years. And I don't know if you guys have anyone in your life. I definitely have people that I've met that have been like in this business space for like 3, 4, 5 years, and they're still barely making it. They're barely making like $1,000, $2,000, maybe $5,000. But it's like, dude, in 5 years, there's no way that all you could be worth is $5,000. Like, there's no way. The only way that happens is if you didn't leverage, in a sense, your skill sets. Not even like leverage, like compound, I guess, because leverage does come from compounding, but compounding is the right word. There's no way that you're not going to hit some goals if you take in the theory of compounding. Because I truly think success comes from the compounding effect. And that's why, like, if you keep on changing things in your life, you don't give it enough time to compound. I mean, if we want to talk about like compounding in stocks, you can definitely have like a big hit. Like, you invest into a stock, it blows up, like Nvidia, you're like, shit, I crushed it. But the likelihood of that happening is very slim. The likelihood of you getting into the right market with the right business idea where it just explodes, it's possible, but it's a very slim chance of happening. And that's like business, but also works with like relationships. It also works with the gym. The fact that you find that winning formula that fits you right away is very slim. But yet, even if it's not the winning formula, meaning like you're not gonna get the results right away, it's like a 5 out of 10 formula. But if you're consistent enough, you're gonna surpass the one that is like 10 out of 10, because usually those don't last forever and it's not guaranteed. To me, I'll rather take the safe route in life, where I know, okay, it might take me a little longer, but it's gonna work. Because I know if I do one business idea, it doesn't matter what it is. If I'm installing garage doors, if I'm doing roofing, if I'm doing plumbing, if I'm doing marketing, if I'm doing, I don't know, if I'm building furniture, if I'm selling fruit at the flea market, I know that if I choose one thing and I stick to it, and I just decide to keep on compounding my branding, my sales skills, my client retention, my product, my pricing, there's no way that I can't outperform my competitors. But meantime, like it starts slow. And the thing is like, you just gotta accept that. But in the meantime, you're gonna get one guy that goes to, I don't know, the Piazza, the flea market, and he sees this guy busy. He's like, oh shit, that guy's crushing it. Let me go start that too. Let me go sell that as well. And you're not gonna get the same results because you don't have all the compounding effects from that guy, and it's not gonna work. And then you're like, oh shit, that guy's making so much money selling solar. Let me go do that. And you're gonna fail because you don't have all the compound effects from that person. And you're like, oh, Mel's doing marketing. Let me go do that. And you're gonna fail because you don't have all the compounding effects that I have over the last 10 years of building the agency. And that's why people fail in business. And then 6 months goes by, a year goes by, 2 years goes by, 5 years goes by, 10 years goes by, and you still never built anything legit. But truly, I think within 3 years, if you stick to something and you truly stick to it and you really commit, it's not about just like, okay, I started my marketing company, now I'm just gonna sit back and let things compound. No, like you gotta put in the effort. You gotta meet people that get you to another person, that gets you to another person, that gets you to another person. You're compounding your network. The other part is now you're like learning Facebook ads. Now you're learning like Advantage Plus targeting. Now you're learning Google ads, and you're learning all these other things. Now you're compounding your skill set, and now you're building your brand. You're investing into articles, your social media presence. You're doing all these things. Now you're compounding on your branding. When you legit do that for 3 years, I say there's no way to fail because I don't know anyone that fully committed to that effort and didn't succeed. I truly do not know anyone. The only ones that I know that are in business but never succeeded were the ones that, and I have a lot of friends, and if you're watching this and that's you, I love you, but it's usually the ones that are like, bro, I got this business idea. Next week, they're like, bro, I got this business idea. So if I'm looking at what works in life and what doesn't, I could almost correlate it all down to consistency. Because even like the gym, no matter how hard you work out, that one day, it means nothing. Like you can work out like super, super, super hard out one day. If you're not going consistently, like it doesn't mean anything. You maybe get a crazy pump, just like when you put in a lot of effort to create a new business, maybe you get that pump, that exciting pump where you're like, shit, this is so dope. I just started a new business, and you lose motivation. Day 2, day 3, 2 weeks later, 5 months later, you didn't really commit as much effort and it just dies. And then you start another one. So definitely don't chase the pump. Don't chase that kind of like exciting feeling to say, hey, I got this new business. Because a lot of people do it just to say, hey, I just started this new business. But it doesn't take them anywhere. You get that dopamine hit and that's it. But like I know that truly, I'm sure that you guys want to succeed. You're not probably building it just so that you can say, hey, I started a company, because you're going to be that person that's like crying wolf. It's like, oh, that guy, he's starting a new business. Like, yeah, right. You don't want to be that person. So my recommendation truly is don't even talk about it. Don't even say, hey, I'm starting a business. Like, shut up, put in the work. And until you have something to show for, there's no reason to talk about it. The only people that knew that I was building up my agency was my girl, my mom, and some close friends. There was no reason for them to know. And weirdly enough, I don't know, I always talk about this, where like when I share something, that thing never happens. If I'm like, hey, I plan on doing something in like 3 months, weirdly enough, it never happens. But when I keep it to myself, it ends up actually happening. And there is like a study behind it where like when you share things, you get the dopamine hit. So it almost feels like you already did it. So there's no reason to do it. You really need to stick to 1 to 2 things in your life. And that truly comes down to everything. Whether you're doing some fitness program, whether you're investing into a business, even if you're doing a job, be consistent on improving yourself. There's no reason to go work 9 to 5 and you're just there. You know, you get that ego hit where you're like, oh yeah, I got this director role You know, even if it's small role, like, oh yeah, I'm this media buyer at this company. It's like, okay, cool, you can say that, but what's your credibility? Like, what did you achieve there? Because when you start looking for another job and we do an interview with you, I'm like, yo, what are some results that you got? And then you start giving me BS answers because you never fully committed and you didn't continuously compound your like learnings. It doesn't do you any well because you're going to lose that opportunity. Just like in business, when you say you have a marketing company and you get this opportunity where this client is like, yo, I got the money, I want to invest into marketing, what can you guys do for me? And if you can't give them some kind of credible work, some case studies, or like showcase exactly that you know what you're talking about, you're going to lose that opportunity. It doesn't matter how much you're trying to succeed, and no matter how much you complain that there aren't opportunities in life, opportunities will happen. Question is, are you ready to take advantage of them? There's opportunities everywhere. If you guys aren't consistent, I want you to consistently keep on watching my YouTube videos. Consistently go like my videos. Leave me a comment too on what you guys think about that. I don't know if you guys went through that where you're like jumping from one thing to another and it didn't work. I don't know if you see yourself throughout this video, but this is just me sharing like from my personal journey, from things that I've learned myself and what I learned from other people's failures. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.